Hey, everyone. How are you all doing? Good morning, Africa, which is very close to my heart, as you guys know that. So, welcome to the 15th episode of the podcast Africa, the Next Big Thing. And you all know the mission and the vision of this podcast is to help African entrepreneurs become influent leaders by promoting their brand, culture, business skills, and sharing your success stories so that it will keep your youth inspired and you will also be able to get a lot of foreign investment. That's the main goal. So today the guest that we are having, is somebody, who has an immense knowledge of branding. When it comes to branding, you know that any company, any corporate, any startup, any big business always survive because of its marketing and because of its branding. So we are having a guest today. His name is Mr. Kevin Kodjo. He's from Ghana. So again, Ghana, you all know that it's so close to me. So he's from there, and he is very passionate about building outstanding brands for businesses, and he also loves to teaching to other young students so that they can implement, the knowledge that he gives to their lives, to their corporate, uh, you can say, experience, and to their education as well. So let's bring him. I think he's here, and here he comes, Mr. Kevin. Kevin, how are you, my man?
Hi, Shiraj. I'm fine. What about you?
I'm doing great, my brother. All well. So how is it going? How is Ghana?
Yeah, quite well. I mean, yeah, in an interesting time, and you know how globally we are battling through the ups and downs of the economies here and there. But at the end
Oh
of the day,
yeah.
yeah, we're having a good time and we're enjoying. As usual, Ghanaian have the way of having fun even throughout difficulties. So we're still enjoying taking good time.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ghanaians are fighters. They are fighters. And
exactly,
and I remember,
exactly.
I remember the food. I love the Ghanaian food, oh, especially banku and fufu. That was my favorite food.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought you
Y-
mentioned Jollof. I mean, but that's fine. For you to
yeah, yeah.
really like to get into knowing Banku and Fufu, it tells you that you've stayed in, you've
And
not just
yum.
stayed in Ghana, but you've really been part of the culture. You've really
Yes.
connected with people, and I mean that's quite interesting. By the
Oh, I
way,
love
Fufu is my
Ghana.
favorite, anyways. Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
I
Yum
love
is
it
my
so.
favorite,
Yeah,
but if you ask me on the top, yum. I love yum. I also
interesting.
cook. Yeah, yum I cook in India as well. So
Oh,
I
I
know how to cook
see. I
yum.
see.
Yeah.
I thought
So
you
if I
said
come to
the fried
Ghana,
one.
we'll share. Yeah, the fried one.
Interesting. Oh, that's fine. Good
Yeah,
to know. You know. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fine.
And my viewers also knew. My viewers know that how Ghana is close to me, and specifically because I tell this. If I bring any Ghanaian guest, so I love to mention this, and I also love to
Oh,
mention my favorite Ghana place, Accra Newtown, because Newtown Market was
I
very
can't.
close to me.
I
Newtown has
know.
given me
Well, good
everything,
to know.
and I can
Oh,
proudly
I
say I
mean the
used to
fishing
rule that
area.
market.
I see. I
Yeah, yeah,
see.
yeah.
So
Yes.
you're basically going around. I mean, on the field.
Whole
You
Newtown.
sound like
Whole
you've really
Newtown.
spent some good time connecting with people around.
Yes, yes. I remember everything. Even Trotro,
Wow.
the Trotro that
I
moves and all.
see.
I love the Trotro as
I
well. Yeah.
see.
I
That's
sit
the
in
fun part
plenty.
of it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So I still
To
remember
be
they used to say Akra, 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 Akra. So I
okay.
remember all those. So amazing,
I'm sure
amazing.
you've had some good experience dealing with the mates in a car,
Yeah,
having to
yeah.
pay, getting your
Yeah,
change
yeah,
back,
mate. Oh, mates, I
and the
used
reaction
to.
around.
Yeah, because the company that I was working, they had more than 50 trucks. So every truck, they used to
Oh,
send a mate for offloading, onloading
interesting.
goods and all. So I used to even deal with them. I know, like,
Interesting.
because see, it's a family. Doesn't matter you are in a
Yeah.
position or you are a senior manager or
Mm.
something. But if you want to succeed in work, all have to work as a team. So
To work
everybody
with,
is
yeah.
important. Everyone is
Exactly.
important, from the
Yeah.
CEO to the gatekeeper of your company. Even that person is
Yeah.
very important. So that's it. So yeah, Mr.
Exactly.
Kevin, yeah, you know that today's agenda, so the podcast and all these things. And I know you have a great amount of experience when it comes to branding, but just before we jump to that, I just want to know a little bit about yourself. If you can introduce yourself, how did you started, or your background, your education, everything.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tiraj. My name is Kevin Kodjo, as you said earlier on, and I'm a brand strategist from Ghana, West Africa, and I'm passionate about building brands, right? About
Yeah.
seeing them born, nursing them, and seeing them grow to compete on a global stage. The beauty about this is that you get a chance to work together with people that just started something new, right? They have a big dream, they have something great to offer the world, but just that they don't have the leverage. They don't have the leverage of the big companies. They are not yet there. But here is where I usually say that what I do is to give the opportunity for all people or anybody that wants to compete on a global stage to send a message and send a message the right way. You understand, to position
Yeah.
them globally, so they don't see the difference between MTN or a new startup that is starting because of the kind of communication that I help them with, right? So I'm passionate about building this brand and allowing small businesses to grow and compete on the global scale. Aside from that, education is one of the things I look into so much as well, training young ones, equipping them with digital skills for the future. We know obviously we are in a digital world, and
Yep.
anything that is built today has its roots in digitization, right?
All digital.
And most especially for kids, STEM for kids, because I believe giving them an opportunity from a scratch, from a start, to experience what is to be a tech person, what is available for them, will help them build up their dreams around that and probably become the big inventors that we would have to see in the future. So basically, I'm passionate about those two things: building brands and teaching people how to do same or to be well abreast with technology of today. So how it all started is quite interesting, right? Out of a family of four, I'm the second born. Actually, we are two boys and two
Okay.
girls.
Okay.
So everyone else have gone through secondary school, and right after that went into university to study IT, accounting, botany, and I mean all these different fields, right? But
Yeah.
I happen to be the only one that is not just go right from secondary school into an academic sector, but I choose a professional route or professional route, if I would say it that way. And when I say I chose it, actually, or I was led or a little bit influenced by my mom to go straight
Oh,
into
great.
IT, going into professional courses, and I mean, getting a practical hand on whatever it is we are doing. And right from second school, I got into an IT school, most specifically IPMC in Ghana. I'm
Hmm.
sure you might have heard
Yes.
about that.
Yes. 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 Of
Interesting.
course.
So I spent 2 years there, and I studied system engineering, right?
Oh, great.
So basically, hardware networking, setting up system, routers, switches, and all those. I don't want to go much in details with that, right? But after going out of school, I was scouting for a job. I was trying to get an internship. I was trying to get some, you know how it is, right? Out of school, you're excited about the skills that you have. You want to offer it to the world. But things did not really align, or things did not really work the way I thought, right? Because I was targeting the big firms. I
Hmm.
was scouting, I was getting to big places, but I just did not have the experience, or I would say it was quite early to get into that, right? And
Yeah.
but along the line, I was looking out for other means to keep myself going, right? Then there was a little bit pressure financially already. I needed to get some things done, and I got to into marketing. I was a sales rep for a company. Then I was selling some
Hmm.
website packages, insurance, and some few things, right? But along the line, there was a time I can't remember on the Thursday, right? I wasn't home with the others. I actually moved out to stay with an uncle somewhere in Tema, and my brother visited. And upon his visit, we were talking, and I realized he was working out something on his computer, right? And that was design. That was the first time I saw what it was, our graphic designing, right? I was just looking at him move item, put it in pictures, and I was like, this is nice. How is this done? I mean, is this something you can teach me? He said, yeah, I can teach you how to do it. It's quite easy. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm interested to know. And he gave me some basics, right? That was Photoshop, CS6, I believe. Yeah, CS6. Not like 8 years back. So CX6 or CX5, I think. So he introduced me some few basics and gave me some few tutorials, right? Because he was just on a visit, he had to leave. So I didn't want him to, I mean, he didn't want me to just be hanging. So I got the tutorials, I started learning on my own. And I realized I loved what I was doing, right? I could
Yep.
create something out of nothing. And I was getting excited from time to time and finally got a job out of that. I was just trying to
Hmm.
get things done, and I started talking to people that now I could design, I could get things done, and I got my first job out of my personal insight. So I normally call myself a self-taught designer, and you know how it is, right? When you learn something by yourself, you want to get to
Yeah.
the roots, you want to get everything out of it, right? So through YouTube, I got to, learn all the things about the tools. Design is not only about the tools, but about the tools and about the principles. So I learned
Of
about the
course.
principle of designing, and then I started freelancing for people. I got a job. I started a job. I was freelancing for people, and I had an encounter with someone, a friend of mine who was a designer as well, who introduced me with what we call a portfolio. Then I didn't know I could have a portfolio and send it to people, and I was like, okay, this is a good idea. And so he gave me this trick, right, for me to be able to copy whatever big brands have done already. People like Coca-Cola, about Pepsi,
Hmm.
the designs they work on already. I should try another version of it, or maybe modify them a little bit, add my personal taste to them, and share with them. I did that, and that was magical. I attracted the attention of big brands, right? And
Yeah.
somewhere in 2018, I don't know where I know about the visit of Prince Charles to Ghana.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then he was a prince, but now he's a king, right? So I got an
Yeah.
opportunity to work together on that project, on the communications
Wow.
for them in Ghana. And big brand. I'm currently um, consulting for some big brands in Ghana. Probably I could mention one that is Association of Ghana Industry, the Energy
Hmm.
Service
Hmm.
Center, and some other people. Most of them I cannot disclose right now on the call, but it just tells you
Of
how
course,
far
we'll
I've
talk.
gone from
We'll talk after the call.
exactly
No, I get your. I
from
get your.
nothing or
Yeah.
from a different background system engineer to becoming a brand strategist
Great.
today. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Oh, amazing, amazing. It's an inspiration story, that you have told till now. And thank you so much for your
Yeah.
openness, bro. So, yeah, my next question to you is not just about the branding now. So as you are into a branding, for so long time and you are helping, other brands to build. So, why branding is so important for business, startups, and corporate companies today? This is my question to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
So I'll start from by defining what branding is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know we have various definition of it. People have, different ways of defining what branding is. But I would say branding or a brand is a perception that your customers or your potential customers have in mind about you or about the company, right? So how you are viewed in the eyes of the customers and the competition, the community, and that's just like the most basic or how people see that. That's how it is at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
So branding is made up of logo, video design, the vision, the mission, the tone, the voice, the storytelling of a company, right? So all these components leads to what you want to achieve or how you want your customers to see you. Definitely, it is this saying that you need to dress the way you want to be addressed, and people see you or people deal with you based on their perception of who you are or the value that you bring to them, right? So
Of
this
course.
what branding is. Okay. So why it is important, I almost answered it, in what I
Yeah.
define. It's important because that's what makes you who you are. That obviously will increase your sales. If you are viewed to be someone that is big or that is bringing a lot of value to the people, they would want to offer even more than you expect, right? Because perception of value is really dynamic in the eyes of many people, right? But if you're able to position
Yes.
yourself so people see you to be valuable, you would make more sales because everyone is in business to make sales. That's the first thing,
Yep.
or profit, if I would
Yes.
say. So secondly, that increased customer loyalty, right, and recognition.
Yeah.
So people become more loyal to you because of what you're doing for them. They would want to do business with you. They would not want, I mean, there is no space in their mind to accommodate other people because you are there. They see you not, I mean, everywhere.
Mhm.
That's the one thing. Aside that, I would say it helps create a strong company culture as well. So, aside from external factors, internally, a company culture is how the employees themselves see themselves. They feel like
Yep.
they are on a mission to serve the world or they're on a mission to do something great, right? There is story
Yes.
of when it was time for NASA to launch the first spaceship to Mars or into space. There is
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy, I believe, went
Yes. Yes.
into
Yes.
NASA and saw a cleaner. Right, he was cleaning and he was passionate about cleaning. He find out, why are you doing this? Why are you so happy? He said, and the cleaner answered. Interestingly, he said, "What I'm helping to send the first spaceship to moon." Right. So even the
Yes.
cleaner had that culture. He had that inside of him. He felt he was part of a great mission. So that's what branding can do to a company. And lastly, I'd say it helps to develop a strong brand equity, or it makes you stand out from the competition. Right. It makes you different from the others. That's who you are, and that's what you stand for. Thank you, Shirash.
What you stand for. That's amazing, Kevin. Amazing, the way you have explained is insanely cool, I would say. So according to you,
Yeah.
what are the challenges of building a brand in Africa? I would say, because in Africa, people, they have a different mindset and all. Sometimes they are not that, receptive, like, they don't want to accept things quickly. They take time. So according to you, what are the challenges of building brand in Africa?
Yeah. So just like you just said now, right? You just made mention of the biggest. That's, I'll say, a customer behavior.
Yeah.
Because you're building a brand, you're serving people, and you have to align to, or you have to understand what they know by value, or what they understand by value, right?
Hmm.
And because of diversity of cultures and diversity of income or diversity of classes in Africa, it's a little bit
Hmm.
difficult to get into the minds of everyone the same way, right?
Yes.
So in Africa, some people live, quite a number of people live in luxury, and on the other side, on the flip side, some people live in poverty, right? So they
Yes.
have different perceptions of value. So when you're
Hmm.
communicating to them, when you're sending out a message, you just have to be careful about who exactly is getting what message, and making sure there's no mix in the communication over there, right? Secondly,
Yes.
branding, as I said earlier on, is a promise to your customers, right? So you
Hmm.
promise being the best partner when it comes to IT services. You promise being there for them when they needed someone to call, even the nights, probably. You promise a lot of things. But sometimes there is a struggle to stick to your promises, right? So
Yes.
because of how diverse the market is or how dynamic the market is, people would want a lot more from you. The demand for your services or your product becomes so dynamic that sometimes you forget to commit to the process. You just want to get things done very fast. Okay, this customer, I mean, I'm selling beans, right? And I'm selling this a
Yes.
plantain. But someone wants salad, and I don't want to
Yeah.
lose that customer. So I quickly go and buy salad and add it to what I'm doing so that I can serve this person, and forgetting the processes that it takes to actually make these things stand. Because without the right process, you can get things started, but they might not last, right? So because you want to serve people and you want to get the market, or you want to please the people, you struggle to keep in line with the vision, and you get distracted by other factors, right? So
Yes.
thirdly, I'll talk about the demand for cheap items, not necessarily cost or not necessarily quality by some of the customers in this part of the world, because of income or their level of perception, or because of how the want things to be done. You'd you'd want to serve them with something cheap, but you promise quality at the end of the day, or at the beginning you promise quality, but because you want to get things through to them, it's difficult to stick to pricing, or it's difficult to stick to the promise when it comes to pricing, and you're likely to compromise quantity for
Yeah.
quality just because you want to serve all kinds of people. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Amazing. I totally understand, what you have said just now, and I hope my viewers are also. So, to all the viewers, who are listening this podcast or who are just watching it on YouTube,
Yeah,
you guys can grab your notepads, pens, and paper, because you have to write all these points, because what he's sharing right now is very insightful. So it can help you in your business as well, or even if you are a startup company, it can help you in your company. So, Mr. Kevin, my next question to you is: see, post COVID, we have seen, like, consumer behavior has totally changed. Now, many companies, they are spending more on
yeah.
social media branding, instead of just doing a traditional branding. Yes, they are still doing it, no doubt. But most of them, they are just spending it on social media now, because they know that now many customers, they are on social media. So how do you feel like, you know like, what are your views on this, and how is it affecting traditional branding now?
Okay, yeah. So traditional branding, if I would say, it's simply the use of traditional ways of communicating, right? So that's
Yes.
radio, television,
Hmm.
newspapers, magazine,
Billboards,
flyers, and
everything.
all
Yeah.
those old ways, billboard exactly, to communicate to our audience, right?
Yes.
Then now we have a new form of media that help reach out to people. I mean, in a different way, right? That's social media. So basically, the use of digital channels, and I mean anything digital to reach out to your audience. COVID has indeed brought a change, right? This is a new world, a world that was not the same. I mean, before 2020, I mean, everything was physical. I mean, if I would have told someone in 2019 that it's possible to hold meetings or to hold a full conference without having to meet people in person, you'd have believed it, right? You're
No,
like,
not at
okay,
all.
is this possible? How feasible is this? Or, I mean, a lot of questions. But social media really has been there prior to COVID, but I mean, COVID has really brought the light, or it has really brought this out, or the need for us to communicate via digital media. But what's the impact, right? What really differentiates social media from traditional media? It is some few things. I'll list five things, right? Uh, First
Okay.
being specific targeting. It helps you
Yes.
specifically target a certain range of people, and budgeting, right? People want to budget, people want to spend a little on marketing and get enough return. They want to make more
Yes.
money while spend a little bit less. And the kind of media that is being used, right? Today is all about what attracts people the most, what draws people attention. You know, now attention span has really reduced about to
Hmm.
4 seconds, right? If you really cannot draw
Yeah,
someone's
4 5
attention
seconds.
in the
Yes.
first few seconds of your content, exactly, you are out of range, right? People have a lot of things to do at the same time. So customer engagement, that is fourth thing I'll talk about. What's the most engaging way, right? To get feedback. You don't just talk to people, but you want to know what they think about your product. You want to know what it is, how it's doing to do, right? And lastly, I'll talk about measurability. You want to measure the impact of whatever you're doing. You want to see how it is working across all channels.
Yes.
But here is the
Totally,
thing,
totally.
right?
I
I
agree
think
with
both
you.
of them have a place or a role to play. And it's a combination of both
Yes.
that works out. I know it's true that social media today uh, have the advantage of those five things that I made
Yeah.
mention earlier on, right? So social media marketing is capable of making marketing companies more strategic, right? Or take strategic decisions when it comes to marketing. And the campaigns that are run on social media are very specific, target specific, or demographically. You'll be able to reach out people in a certain city, tell them the message that you want them to know, and get the feedback that you want to know, right, from them. So obviously, it's becoming one of the most effective way of doing marketing, or basically one of the most effective way to get your message out there, get a feedback, and get a return on investment, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
traditional media has a way of also putting or positioning your company or positioning your brand, right?
Yeah.
So, because for a certain age class, it's still a trusted sort of information for them, especially for the older group, right? They are more
Yes.
comfortable with TV ads, they're comfortable with radio and all those things. And aside that, traditional media is also a form of gives you a level of prestige because of the amount of money you would have put into pulling up a billboard and putting about those things that people see. So obviously, someone seeing a billboard of MTN or Ken Technologies will know that these guys are really into business and they have the money or they have the resources to actually help me out.
Yeah.
So yes, just to conclude on that, COVID has really brought social media to light, or has brought the importance of social media to our day-to-day activities, right? But I believe the combination of both traditional and social media really makes your brand stand out and pass the
Stand
message
out.
to all kinds of populations. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
because
it.
I have seen this thing, when I was there in Ghana. So we also used to do a lot of promotions for our company. Like, there are some Indian festivals, there were
Okay.
some other festivals going on. We used to put our stall, and sometimes, Okanchi market, Accra Central. So we used to go there with a lot of
Yeah,
t-shirts. We
exactly.
used to
Yeah.
distribute, do a promotion, t-shirts and all those things. So
Mm,
these things cannot be replaced. Social
yeah.
media cannot replace all these things, when you go and distribute
Exactly.
something or give
Exactly.
something physically. So that's very important, when it comes to
Physically,
branding as well.
yeah.
Yes, especially in Africa, it's really really important. So
Yeah.
Mr. Kevin, according to you, now what are
Right.
the new
It
opportunities
is.
for brands in Africa? Let's say tomorrow somebody just want to start a new company and they want to make it a brand. So what are the opportunities
Mm.
in Africa? And it's not related to political right now, because we are not here to talk politics, but how government is supporting, Ghana
Okay.
government is supporting the new brands, or the new entrepreneurs who are coming. Yeah.
Okay. So, opportunities for brands in Africa. I mean, Africa is still a green field, right? Whilst
Of
other
course.
continents are being explored or are actually at the verge of going out of resources, we still have a lot more natural resources, human resources. I mean, the field as is still green, right? There's a lot of opening. There's a lot of opportunities here. They're coming specifically to Ghana. I mean, the government is putting a lot of policies in place, right, in support of SMEs, most especially. There are a lot of programs. I mean, some of them funded or supported by some international organizations, of course, right? Some like GIZ, that's the German associations in Ghana. We have the
Hmm.
Association of Ghana Industries that are putting up cohorts. So first of all, I'll start from
Hmm.
cohorts, right? That is giving training, the right training for these young entrepreneurs that are coming into business. So, right from market research, from product sprint, for you to understand what you're really offering, whether there is a need for it in the market. Because a lot of people want to come into business, or people go into business without knowing who they are really serving, without knowing their needs and how best to where to find them and how best to serve them, right? So these cohort
Yes.
programs are really helping them build capacity to serve the market and scale globally. So,
Right.
secondly, aside from what governments are doing, there is, I mean, now we live in a global village, right? So, globalization is one thing we cannot let go of. So, prior to COVID, or in the past, you could only serve people in your locality, you can only serve people in your community. But because of digitalization, now we can sell people around the world. So if Kofi is selling clothes or uh, Ghanaian made stuff here in Ghana, now we can sell
Mhm.
people in Canada because of technology, right? And there are
Mm.
a lot of things to leverage on in terms of courier, in terms of delivery or mobilization of funds, right? In terms
Mm.
of payments, I didn't make mention of this earlier on at the top, but I'm as well a co-founder of FXKudi, which is
Wow.
a fintech company.
Yeah, I think the
Yes,
payment
exactly.
something online,
So
the company that does, I think it's related to that.
exactly, we have Connect Africa through payment, right? We allow
Wow, you are the
Africans to easily
co-founder.
send and receive money. Except I'm one of the co-founders, exactly.
Oh, that's great.
So we realized that it's been very difficult for Africans to receive payment. And we talk
Hmm.
about Pan-Africanism, right? We recently, the AFCHA, the Free African Trade Area Agreement, have been signed, and that would help people actually easily trade among countries. But it's been difficult for them to receive payment at the same time. So we built a structure, we built the system that help them to send money through their mobile application, mobile app, and send money between Ghana and Nigeria. So you can pick your
Wow.
money, you pick your
I
phone,
can I
and
can
yes,
contact you to some of the people because yesterday only one guy from Nigeria
okay,
sent me a message that he is not able to do a payment. He
all right,
wants to do some online payment. So I told him Payoneer, that via Payoneer he can receive payment,
okay,
but he said no, he wants to do the payment.
and then
So do your company also
you
like
want to do
this
the payment. Yes, you can
app
do
helps to do the payments?
exactly. It helps you do the payment
I
as
will
well.
contact.
So
I will
Google Play
share
Store,
his
App
contact
Store,
number with you. Yeah,
sure, sure. So that is FS
great.
Kudi, that's the name. So these are some of the
Okay.
opportunities that are on the ground now. So you can easily send goods and receive payment for it instantly, right?
Wow.
So yeah, so these are some of the things, and there's a lot more coming. I mean, and we are very hopeful, and the future is bright. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, amazing. It's something new that, you have told me. And yes, I think I can help you. I know a lot of people in Nigeria, like, who need this. And
Oh,
also, you can also
interesting,
discuss with them. Yeah, that's great.
interesting.
So,
I'll be
Mr.
glad
Kevin,
to
now my
help.
next
Yeah.
question to you. Yeah, of course. So yeah, my next question to you is, see, there is always a debate, especially in companies, sometimes even in school, even in colleges when we were there, like what is more important,
Mm.
sales or marketing? So according to you, which is more important? Both are
Oh,
important for business, first of all, but which do you feel like, yes, this is, without this, yes, we know sales is heart and soul of a business, but at the same
mm,
time marketing is also important. So, according to you, what is the actual difference
yeah.
between sales and marketing, and to whom you give the more benefit?
Okay, so sales and marketing, yeah, I've heard this a lot of times, right?
Yes.
And I believe they work hand in hand. So I might not be able to give priority on any of them, but it depends on where we are looking at it from, right? So sales is basically activity or the instant activity of exchanging goods or the products or services or exchanging value for money, right? But
Yes.
marketing is a little bit beyond that. So I would say market sales is included into marketing, right? So marketing, I'd say, is a process of creating, communicating, and delivering, right, value, and as well handling customer relationship, right, to your customer or your target audience. So you see that inside of marketing there is sales. That is a part of communicating. No, that's a part of making that product available for people to buy. So as I said earlier on, it's all depends on where you are looking at it from, or the objectives, right? So the objectives of sales is basically or primarily directed towards making or matching the expectations of your customers instantly,
Hmm.
right? So that's
Yeah.
making a sale and moving on. But marketing is a range of activities. So apart from sales, you're looking at distribution, you're looking at the research, R&D, you're looking at, I mean, a holistic view of what how you're going to deal with your customers. Yeah, so it depends on what you want to achieve. So sales basically focus on increased revenue, right? But marketing talks about how you can build a strong relationship, how you can serve the customer, how you can give them what they want at the right time, and probably twisting or adjusting yourself to serve them better, right? So I wouldn't say any of them is better than the other, but I would say they work
Yeah.
hand in hand. One is short term, whilst the other is long term. Thank you.
Oh, great. Amazing. Oh, yes, you have answered this a right way. So, Mr. Kevin, now where do you see yourself
Yeah,
after 5 years?
yeah.
Just asking yourself, like, okay, this is what you have planned after five
Oh,
years.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So, Kevin, in 5 years, there's a lot coming on, but I
The
mean,
president
right
of
now,
Ghana.
or just to put it in perspective, ah, yeah, I mean, politics not really my thing, anyways. Right. I mean, I'd love to focus on what I'm passionate about. That's
Yeah, yeah.
branding and
Just kidding.
education, right? So hopefully in the next 5 years, I'll be able to help at least 1,000 brands across the continent position themselves and do great things, all right, or compete on a global market. And that is personally to what I could do myself and through the army of design and or brand strategies that I'll be building, because I'm passionate about teaching. I wouldn't want to do this single-handedly, right? So
Yeah.
probably or most strongly have a branding school or branding cohort where I could bring young guys and equip them with tech skills or give them the right resources to be able to become who I am today or probably do more than I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So education helping African startup to build big brands. And secondly, empower kids when it comes to STEM education. Right. I said this earlier on, right? Because the future
Yes.
is
Yes.
technologies. These young ones need to be equipped from the scratch. I personally have had experience of meeting children, young ones in junior high school here that
Hmm.
have ICT part of the curriculum, but they don't know what a computer is. They've never pressed Control C, neither Control V, right? So they don't have the practical experience how to use a computer and use it to build anything at all. And through
Yes.
research, I found that like about 80% of people in Africa, most of them in rural Africa, have not had a chance to practically use a computer to get anything done before, right? So I see
Yes.
this as an opportunity, and hopefully next year, one of the things I want to start it is that foundation that I call it mobile IT lab, right? So I'd want to be able to move to remote areas or rural areas, equipped with laptop, equipped with computers, and give them the opportunity, give them the trainings that they needed, right? And I don't want to leave them just like that because I believe in asset-based community development. I believe in something sustainable. So aside from the basic training we give them there, we will try to build a community around that. That will take them along throughout the stages, right? So right from the basic Office Word, Excel, the next cohort or the next meeting is likely to be in graphic designing or different skill set throughout the journey until become, I mean, full grown IT gurus that will be able to build
Yes.
something for Africa. I'm passionate about branding. Number two, about education. Thank you. That's what I'm
Yeah.
going to be doing in the next 5 years.
Oh, my. And are you also looking for a collaboration? Kind of, let's say, for example, tomorrow, something, somebody wants to collaborate. Okay. They want to be the
Obviously,
part with you.
obviously,
You are looking for that as
yeah,
well.
this cannot be done alone, right? Because
Yeah, of course.
the market is huge. I spoke about 80% of the whole
Yes,
population. It tells you that
of course.
this cannot be done alone, and I'll definitely be open for partnership for government organizations or private donors, anybody that could help in that sense. Very open for partnership.
Great. Great.
Thank you.
Oh, amazing. And I'm coming, huh? Then.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'd love to work
Yeah,
on
as
great things
discussed.
with
Yeah.
you, Serge.
Yeah. So, Kevin, what do you want to appeal to the investors, of North America, Dubai, Europe, and even India, who are watching this episode right now? Like, how big is African
Okay.
market?
Okay, Africa is big. I made mention of this earlier, right? Right now, the recent census makes us know that we are about 1.4 billion in population, right? And
Yes.
this is green ground, green pastures for any investor in terms of human resources. And we still have the youngest population that any
Yes.
continent has, youngest working force, right? And young potential. Day in and out, I meet with guys, right? Because of where I stand, I deal with business. There are young guys that are doing amazing things, I'll tell you. They have
Hmm.
products, they have businesses, they have services that could actually change the life of people, but they don't have the necessary support, right, for them to scale. It might take them 10 years to build that capacity to serve the number of people they could serve, right? So investors in America, in Dubai, or wherever it is around the world would want to come in and look for genuine source to reach out to these people. And I would position myself as one of them because having direct contact with people tells you what they are going through, what their challenges, and these not just stories that are written somewhere else, right? But
Yeah.
working with people and know what they are able to do and the capacity or how they can serve the people.
Hmm.
Right. So number one is actually right meeting with the right people or meeting with people that are trying to make change in their communities. Secondly, I would appeal to them to invest in uh, sustainable investment, or let me say sustainable ventures, right? I believe so much in access-based community development, which means building with the people, not only for the people. And Africa has received a lot of investment in the past years, and most of the time there
Yes.
are a lot of specification about how the monies are being spent, where they are being used. But the beauty of using asset base is that you're already using existing asset. You know what the people are capable of, and you are building on what they already have. So they don't see it to be strange, or they won't be able to maintain it at the end of the day. But when you build with people and you look into the future together with them, they are able to know what it is. And I believe so much in education, right? Because I'm passionate about it. And the strength of a nation, or the nation rises to the strength or capacity of the education of its people. So number three, investing into education for me is very key. Helping
Yes.
Africans build capacity. I mean, especially in digital sector, in IT, in IoT, in I mean machine learning, in the newest technologies that we could ever have. So yeah,
Yes.
that's a little I have to share. And I'm very open to partnerships. Or I mean, Siraj is one of the great guys that is driving that as
Yeah.
well. So obviously through Siraj, we'll do great
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Of course, of course. Yeah, I will do my best. And as I mentioned you last time, like what I'm planning for Africa, about education, branding, and all those things, So yeah, of
Yeah.
course, that would be great if we do it together as well. So last question to you,
Yeah.
Kevin. It's this podcast is really going amazing. I don't want to end it, but yes, I have to do. And this question I ask in every episode. So Kevin, what advice do you want to give to a youngster who is between 18 to 25 right now and watching this episode? What advice you want to give him?
Oh, interesting. Yes, that's the youngsters. Those are the people that hold the future of
Yes.
nations, our communities, and whatever it is. I heard this quote from someone. I can't remember exactly who it is, but he made mention that what you do with the first 25 years of your life will lead or would influence whatever happens in the next 50 years of your life. That
50
if you
years.
live
Yes.
to
Yes.
stand alone. So 25 years, your first 25 years as the most precious, like they are the gift from God to you. I believe so much in what God does for us, or how God positions us, or the potential that God give to us, the ability or the choice that God gives to us to make a change or to transform our life. It is true that we'll say in Africa we are disadvantaged. It is true we don't have all the support, we don't have all the things that every other people have in other
Yeah.
continents, right? But I believe God has given a fair advantage, or has a fair passion for everyone. It gives you the power to make a choice and to make a difference. And irrespective of where you are, irrespective of what you do, if you stand out and you are diligent in whatever you do, you would be able to compete on the global stage. So, first, education. We just need to get it right. We just need to get the right foundations right. first, because we are tempted to go into business to make money and to do things quickly, right? But without the right foundation, we are likely to lose out too. Number two, I'll speak about communication skills, right? No matter how good you are, if you cannot communicate what you have or you cannot communicate
Of
value,
course.
it is difficult to reach out to you. It's difficult to know what you're really worth. Thirdly, I spoke about good connection skills, or being able to build good relationship with people around you in your community globally, right? Being more multicultural, understanding people from where they are coming from, being able to relate with people on the global scale. Those are the three key things I would say that we need to have right in place before we get into our 30s, because there a lot of things are no more fair. We are treated as adults. So yeah, basically
Yes.
this is what I have to share.
Yeah. Oh, amazing, amazing insights. And it was one of, the most wonderful podcasts that I have recorded with you today. Because I am also, my
Thank you.
background is also sales, marketing, branding, and all. So even for
All
me,
right.
there were a lot of
Great.
new things that I have learned from you today. So thank you so much, Kevin,
Mm.
for coming to our podcast. And to all the viewers, we'll come with another episode of the podcast next week. So till that time, bye. Thank you so much, Mr. Kevin.
Thank you, sure.